And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today is Tuesday, February 11th, and we've got 4 games today here in the National Basketball Association. So obviously, we got you 4 predictions for these 4 games. Now, I literally just got off a plane coming back from Los Angeles for Luka Doncic's LA Lakers debut. I did record some stuff from the game, so I guess there's going to be a vlog later today. I guess, or tomorrow morning, probably later today. I don't know what the hell that vlog is going to be. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I guess I'll post it later today here on the channel. Regardless, we've got 4 games today in the NBA. If this video is going out 30 minutes late, yeah, it's because I just got back from Los Angeles. Usually I record these the night before, but yeah, we're recording it right now. So anyways, before we get into the predictions, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA predictions here on the channel. Earlier today, we did post our college basketball best bet, so make sure to check that video out. And also, make sure to go check out our UFC Fight Night Cannonier versus Rodriguez predictions as well. All right, we move now to the first of our 4 games today, and we start in Philadelphia for the Philadelphia 76ers and the Toronto Raptors. So I did make these graphics last night. The line has moved from plus 8.5 for Toronto to now plus 9.5. Even better, we'll take the extra point here for the Toronto Raptors. I get it, the Raptors have not been playing their hottest ball recently. They did go on their little stretch where they were really great. They were winning a bunch of games. Since that, real nice run, they've lost 4 in a row to the New York Knicks, the Memphis Grizzlies, to the OKC Thunder, and the Houston Rockets. But I just want to talk about those games specifically. They lose to the Knicks by 6 points. They get blown out by the Grizzlies, okay. They lose to the Thunder on the road by 12, and the Rockets on the road by 7 points. Again, there's always a question of what the hell we are going to get out of the Philadelphia 76ers. Because truly, this team is so inconsistent. They've lost 4 games in a row going into this one. Joel Embiid is questionable with injury management, so we don't even know if he's going to play or not. I would never, honestly, bet on a Philadelphia 76ers basketball game if you don't know if Joel Embiid is playing or not. Because yes, when Embiid is on the court, there is no denying this. Again, the problems with Embiid starts with him actually playing the basketball games. But when Joel Embiid, a former MVP, is on the court, obviously, he is a top player in the sport. But when he cannot stay on the court, obviously, and when you get question marks like this, it's very difficult to pick Philadelphia 76ers basketball games. I'm going to take the Raptors here to cover. They've been competitive against some of these teams recently. Again, they were competitive against the Rockets, somewhat competitive against the OKC Thunder, and somewhat competitive against the New York Knicks as well. Very competitive against the Knicks. And I get it, the Raptors are dealing with a bunch of injuries. Grady Dick is probable, but no Brandon Ingram still, no RJ Barrett, no Jakob Poeltl. But they've been without those 3 guys recently, and they've been playing, again, somewhat competitive basketball. So I don't mind Toronto in this spot. The Raptors coming into this one are 16-37. Somehow only 6 games out the play-in because the Chicago Bulls currently hold that final play-in spot, and they are 9 games under 500 at 22-31. The 76ers are 20-32. They are 1.5 games out of that final play-in spot. I don't know. Again, who knows? They should win this game. I don't think they completely lose out here at home. Again, though, we don't even know who's playing. Will Embiid go? I don't know. If I had to guess, probably, because I don't know, it's the Raptors. He'll probably play this. But they play tomorrow in Brooklyn, so I don't know. Honestly, tomorrow night in Brooklyn's probably the bigger game. If I had to guess, actually, I'd say Joel doesn't play. He probably plays tomorrow instead. Screw the home fans. The tougher game is definitely in Brooklyn tomorrow. We'll see, because you know Embiid's not playing the back-to-back. Give me Toronto on the road to cover, but I'll take Philadelphia to win. We go to our second game of the day, and we go to possibly the biggest game of the day. Like the game we just talked about with Philadelphia and Toronto, we get an extra point now for the Pacers. They opened as 1.5-point dogs. They're now 2.5-point dogs. I mean, again, I'd personally just play the money line, but if you want to play the spread, go ahead. You get an extra point here for the Pacers, and you get better value, obviously, with the money line as well. Give me Indiana. The Pacers, I know they lost and looked bad in Los Angeles the other night, but that was at the very end of a road trip. It is what it is. The Pacers were on the West Coast for over a week, and whatever. They lose the Lakers. All right, they split the road trip. They went 2-2. This team's only still lost 4 games, in the calendar year of 2025. Cleveland, San Antonio, and Paris, and then road spots to a hot Blazers team at the time, and obviously right now probably the hottest team in all of basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers. And now they did lose to the Lakers without LeBron, without Luka, but AR exploded obviously for 45 plus in that game. But the Pacers are still very good. Pascal Siakam's an all-star of the season. Tyrese Halliburton is, when he's on, he's good. Halliburton did have a horrendous game, obviously. In Portland against the Blazers, has bounced back though. 19 points in the Lakers game. 19-9 is the stat line that we've kind of expected and seen multiple times this season out of Tyrese Halliburton. I think the Pacers get right back on the right track here. Obviously, this is a rematch of the Eastern Conference semifinals last year where the Pacers took down the New York Knicks in 7 games, and I do think they get the Knicks here. The Knicks are coming off a loss at home against the Boston Celtics. They got to go to Indiana for this game, and I get it again. Regular season Tom Thibodeau, he plays his guys 40-plus minutes to try to win these games, sure, but the Pacers have beat the Knicks, quite a bit. I believe first game they played this season, I believe the Knicks got it in New York, and then have they played again since? They haven't. Oh no, they played twice early in the year, right? The Pacers won the second game at home. So exactly, I think Indiana is able to get this team at home, like we saw in the Eastern Conference Finals, semifinals. Usually the home team was picking up victories in that series, obviously, except for Game 7 where Indiana, closed the book, obviously at Madison Square Garden. I like the Pacers here. Again, I think they rise to the occasion. It's a big game, and they are at home. So I do think in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse, I think the Pacers get it. The Knicks still dealing with some injuries. We'll see again if OJ Anunoby comes back for this game. He's questionable with the foot injury. Looks like Josh Hart is going to play. He's probable. But I think Indiana is fairly healthy going into this one. I believe Miles Turner, we'll see if he's back or not. Regardless, again, if Turner doesn't play, then you likely do see, again, Thomas Bryant, who I don't know, again, if Thomas Bryant's the sole reason why Indiana turned around their season, but maybe it's just a coincidence. I don't know. Since Thomas Bryant's become an Indiana Pacer, they have been a lot better. And also, Indiana just signed Jahlil Okafor to the Mad Ants G League squad. But it looks like Jahlil Okafor, I think, is on a 2-way. So we'll see. Yeah, that was interesting. Regardless, give me Indiana to cover. Give me Indiana money line. We like the Pacers at home here against the New York Knicks. We go on to our third game of the video, and it is a matchup here between the Chicago Bulls and the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons have climbed their way all the way to 6th right now in the Eastern Conference, taking on the 10-seed play-in squad right now in the Chicago Bulls. Give me Detroit on the road. Yes, they are 4.5-point favorites on the road, minus 185, give or take, for the Pistons, plus 155/plus 150 here for the Chicago Bulls. I like Detroit. Chicago just gives up too many points. They do. Now, they will have their games where they will stun you and they will be able to keep up and they will be able to compete by scoring a bunch as well. I don't trust it here against Detroit. I think the Pistons, again, are a very good offensive unit. I think, additionally, they do play solid defense where they should be able to hold Chicago a little bit here. The Bulls are dealing with some injuries. One of their starters, their starting shooting guard right now, Lonzo Ball, who obviously they just give a contract extension to, is out with an illness tonight. So we likely see Herter probably starting, but the Bulls are playing just incredibly small ball right now. They're playing DeSumo at the 4, who's 6'5", obviously. They're playing Kobe White at the 3. They got Giddey, Lonzo, and Kobe White at the, Giddey and Lonzo at the 1 and 2. I mean, traditionally on defense, obviously, Giddey's going to probably be guarding the 3. No, Giddey's probably guarding the 4 sometimes. But the thing is, Giddey doesn't play defense, and that's the problem with the Bulls. They don't have any defensive guys. So again, getting rid of Patrick Williams, moving Patrick Williams to the bench and then having Matas Buzelis on the bench as well. It's just they don't really get much defense out of the starting unit other than Lonzo and DeSumo some. But it's just Vooch doesn't play defense at all. Giddey doesn't play defense, and I'm not blown away with what Kobe White does defensively. So again, when the Bulls are on, and again, that's what they were able to benefit with Zach LaVine. Like, LaVine could keep them in shootouts. With LaVine, sure, they're going to win some of these games, but they're not consistent at all at winning these back and forth battles. And obviously, Chicago's 9 games under 500, coming off back-to-back losses to the Minnesota Timberwolves and to the Golden State Warriors. Kobe White led Chicago in scoring in both those games with 20 and 27, respectively. But I can't trust the Bulls to beat the Pistons here. Detroit coming off back-to-back wins at home. Sure, it's the Sixers and the Hornets, but they're winning basketball games. Cade Cunningham's posting triple-doubles left and right. Obviously, they add Dennis Schroeder to this bench unit. I don't think Detroit's making a run this season, don't get me wrong, but I do think they're a solid core this season, and obviously, it is a step in the right direction, obviously, for Detroit, knowing where they were last year as the laughing stock of the NBA, and now look at them, they look to be at least a shoo-in for the play-in, and I like the Pistons. Again, we'll see. Jaden Ivey, I think, has got to be getting closer to returning at this point. He's in a walking boot now, so I guess He's not that close to returning, but who knows? The Pistons are a solid core, and obviously that all starts and ends with Cade Cunningham. Again, all their success runs through Cade this season, and it seems like the Pistons are going to be on their way back to the postseason this year in 2025. Give me the Detroit Pistons to go on the road, cover the 4.5 points, and beat the Chicago Bulls. We go to our fourth and final game of the video in Phoenix, Arizona. It is the Memphis Grizzlies and the Phoenix Suns. Give me the Grizzlies. They opened as 1.5 point favorites. That line has since moved to 4.5. It's back down to 3.5 now that I'm seeing. So I guess we'll make the official play minus 3.5 for Memphis, as the updated money line is minus 165 for the Grizz. Don't mind it. The Grizzlies are an elite team in the Western Conference. They are. Phoenix is simply not. Okay? The Suns have no defensive presence. Sure, they can score at will. This is a very good shooting team. When they're hot, they're going. D-Book's an elite scorer, obviously. KD can score. Royce O'Neal, surprisingly, when he's hot, he can launch it. Obviously, Grayson Allen, Bradley Beal, who I believe is injured for this game. Beal is out with a toe injury. So again, Beal's not making the biggest difference, obviously, in the starting lineup, but in those crunch time minutes and at the end of games, Bradley Beal is playing. He just doesn't start with the starting guys. So they take Ryan Dunn out and bring Beal in. Well, Beal's out. So that just gets rid of another scoring option for Phoenix late in the game. Obviously, again, they're starting Tyus Jones, Devin Booker, Ryan Dunn, Kevin Durant, obviously the former Charlotte Hornet, and Nick Richards, who they got in the Okogie trade. Memphis is just a better basketball team. The Grizzlies lost the other night against the Oklahoma City Thunder, but again, that's the best team in the National Basketball Association. Memphis is healthy with Ja, Bane, Wells, JJJ, obviously the All-Star Jaren Jackson, and Zach Edey. This is a good team. Again, how far are they going to go in the postseason? I don't know, because I don't think they're better than OKC, and I don't think they're better than the Lakers this season. Hell, we saw the Grizzlies and the Lakers play in the postseason a couple of seasons ago. I get it. The Grizzlies have a completely different identity now. I feel like back then, sure, Ja was the star, but there was so much banter about Dylan Brooks, and he was the national media attention all the time because of his, constructed rivalry with LeBron James, right? So I think this is a different Memphis team, but at the same time, I think once we get into the postseason, I don't think they're as good as Los Angeles, and I don't think they're as good as OKC. I think I would take the Nuggets in a series over them, but I don't know. In this game, I think the Grizzlies beat the Suns. They are the all-around better basketball team. I expect Ja to have a night. Jaren Jackson should dominate, obviously spreading out the court, obviously offensively, because they have Edey down low. I mean, I like what the Grizz are doing. I think the Edey addition this year has really helped them a lot, and this bench is fairly deep as well. So I like the Grizzlies in this spot, especially against a Suns team that is dealing with injuries with Beal. Again, I know Beal's not a starter no more, but he, again, does make an impact at the end of games, especially if KD's not going and, it's just D-Book trying to score. So give me the Grizzlies in this spot. They are 3.5 point favorites in the road. I expect them to cover and win against a Suns team that is struggling right now to remain in the play-in. If the play-in were to start today, Phoenix is that one team out the good 11 teams in the Western Conference that are on the outside looking in. They are 26-26. The Warriors and Kings are now both 27-26. So here we go, man. This one's going to go down to the wire, obviously. We still had a lot of basketball left to play, but right now I'm going to have the Suns losing at home here in the nightcap against the Memphis Grizzlies. So folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA predictions here for Tuesday, February 11th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you do disagree with any of the picks. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.